I still have absolutely knockdown, drag out, awful days with my body, with the emotions that I deal with. I have meltdowns. I'm autistic. I have them. But I can tell you unequivocally that the days that I have that are better and worth living, far more. And I don't really remember the bad days.
Welcome to the Well with Cannabis podcast, a show dedicated to telling the life-changing stories of those who live well with cannabis, all while teaching you how to do the same. Meet your host, Emily Kyle, a registered dietitian nutritionist turned certified holistic cannabis practitioner. Emily changed her life for the better with the help of the cannabis plant, and now she is committed to helping others do the same. Tune in each week to hear heartwarming stories and gain the knowledge you need to feel connected, inspired, and supported on your own cannabis journey. Whether you're a new cannabis consumer or a lifetime lover, you'll benefit from these uplifting tales of real-life journeys that will show you how you too can live your best life well with cannabis.
Before we jump into today's episode, I wanted to share a note on potentially sensitive content. The episodes on the Well with Cannabis podcast are created for adult audiences only. We will at times cover sensitive topics including, but not limited to, suicide, abuse, mental illness, sex, drugs, alcohol, psychedelics, and the obvious use of plant medicine. Explicit language may be used occasionally. Please refrain from watching or listening to the show if you're likely to be offended or adversely impacted by any of these topics. The information on this show is for informational and educational purposes only. It does not constitute medical advice. If any of the content on this podcast has brought up anything for you, please reach out or speak to a professional or someone you trust. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Well with Cannabis podcast. And I am so excited to have a very fun, I can already tell we've chit-chatted a little bit, very fun discussion with Miss Mary Gardner here today. Welcome, Mary. Thank you for joining me.
Hi, thanks so much for having me. I'm so excited to talk to you today.
Oh, you are so full of energy. I am super excited to get to know you and your story and how it kind of brought you to cannabis, how cannabis is helping you today. So I'm going to give you the floor. Tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
So I am 39 years old. I am disabled at this point. I have a spinal cord injury, spinal injury. There's weirdness around the terminology now. I'm also recently diagnosed as autistic, and I'm going through, my therapist diagnosed me going through the diagnostic testing. So just learning a lot about myself, but processing a lot.
Yes.
About 2 years ago, I think I just kind of hit a wall. With life, emotions, not really knowing myself, had some really personal things happen, a really bad marriage, had a child that I had to put up for adoption. It was very hard for me emotionally. Yeah. She's with my sister, so I know that she's safe and loved and taken care of, but it's still very difficult. And I think I just hit the wall with all of that. And I developed like nausea and vomiting and like struggles with food that have always sort of been in the opposite for me. I've always been overweight. I've always like had this relationship with food where I wanted to eat a lot to kind of soothe me. And then it became, I was looking at a little cup of rice and couldn't make myself eat it. It was just really hard.
So weird.
Yeah. So I was like, well, let's try weed. Let's try, because it became legalized in my state. And I was like, let's try some edibles. I have kind of like, I say pussy lungs because I can't smoke. Yeah. I just cough a lot. No. I mean, I'm jealous of anybody that can hit a big bong. I always like stare in awe of them.
No, I can't. No,
but it's not for me. So edibles are where it's at. And I just started with like 100 milligram bars and would break off a little piece. And it was super helpful, but I realized that it was helpful for like a lot of other things too.
Yes,
it slowed my mind in a way that I have never really experienced. Oh my mind is so noisy and so loud. And I literally recently explained it to my therapist, like really like put it into words, what I think my brain is like compared to like a normal functioning humans. And she was like, I think we should get you in for ADD testing. And I'm like, yeah, probably. Probably a thing. And she's like, it just seems like it's a lot in there. And I said, yeah. And weed really has just given me a way to sort of navigate that and kind of shut some of it down. I sleep far better than I've ever slept in my entire life. like regularly. I go to bed. I live on Florida retiree hours now. I go to bed at about 7:30 or 8, and I wake up at about 4 o'clock in the morning, and I have never been happier with my sleep schedule.
Yeah.
It's like incredible. My partner is like, who are you? Because when he met me, I would stay up all night long and like hang out on the internet and watch it. I couldn't sleep to save my life. And I think it was because I couldn't shut my brain down.
Yeah.
I just couldn't figure out how. So it's helped with that. I have lost a lot of weight, I think, because of whatever's going on with my stomach. But the beauty in the weed is that it has helped with so many other things that I've been able to start being physically active in a way that I've never been able to before. I'm a girl that works out 3 days a week now, which is insane.
That is amazing.
But transversely, I think what people don't understand is like, when you're autistic and have had to hide that your whole life and you can't stim the way that your body needs to stim, and then you find a way to work out that is like stimming for your body, it is releasing things in a way that you cannot begin to imagine. So I have unlocked a new way to release emotions through weed and working out, because I use my VR headset, like my virtual reality one.
Oh my gosh, cool.
So it's music, it's integrated movement, it's feeling things because the controllers have vibration in your hands.
Wow.
So it's so much like sensory stuff in a good way for me.
Yeah.
And without weed, I wouldn't be able to physically do that with my spinal cord injury, with the neuropathy in my legs. I can't feel my left leg from the knee down. And I work out for probably 30 minutes, 40 minutes at a time. It's incredible to me. Like a year and a half ago, I couldn't stand for more than 15 minutes at a time. I couldn't wash my dishes without sitting. Like, it's incredible. And so, yeah, it's really, I don't want to keep going too far, but it's the way that it has really sort of transformed my life for me. And then we talk about anxiety and social anxieties and not being able to go places. Like, I can go like to the dentist now. I'm literally getting a lot, like, the reason I'm not on camera with you, I'll be super honest, I'm getting a lot of dental work done. I didn't go to the dentist for a very long time. And I had to I went, and 7 days later, they were pulling out things because the infection was so bad. But I'm so grateful now that I can go and fix it and get my health together. It's so important. Like, and weed, I think, has given me sort of like a protection to like be open with people. It's so weird that it like takes, when you talk about autism and weed, for me, it's very correlated. Like being able to take off the mask and like go into a dentist office and say, hey, I'm ragingly autistic. Like, I need you guys to be very careful with me. I've never been able to do that before.
That is
and
so
to be,
nice.
to be able to, and they were incredible. Like, just the most wonderful experience. I was thanking them as I walked out and they had ripped out 4 of my teeth. I'm like, thanks guys. Have a great day.
I'm so glad though.
I'm such a happier person in general. Yeah. And I strive so hard to talk to people about weed. Yeah. Because I think they don't understand like the true benefits. I think they just hear weed and they're like, oh, you're sitting on your couch getting high all day. No, I'm actually living my life and I'm being productive for once. And I can shower every day and I can work out and I can cook myself meals. These are things I wasn't doing before I was using weed. Like, I was so amazing. Like, yeah, I was living in a place where I had to have caretakers, and now I live by myself in an apartment and I feel like a full human being. Like, it's incredible the change. I'm telling you, like, this plant has changed my freaking life. And I'm incredibly lucky because I have a partner that helps me monetarily. I wouldn't be able to afford it by myself. I have to be very honest about that. I am disabled. I live on a limited income. Most of my income goes towards my rent and paying for kibble for my cat because I love her to death. But like, he's very, very helpful. He lets me do whatever I want, however I want. I make treats for my friends. Your website taught me how to make gummies and chocolate. And I make chocolate boxes literally that are infused with oil and THC. And then I make the little like unicorn molds and things to go in the chocolate boxes.
So cute.
I have so much fun. I get to be creative. It gave me an outlet at a very stressful time. I was taking care of an elderly friend, learning how to do all of these things. So it really gave me something to focus on at a time that I was really struggling. So learning how to do all of this while it was healing me. Yeah. The other biggest thing is I got diagnosed with heart failure about 3 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
Congestive heart failure. Yep. And they think what happened is that I am a person that is so stressed out that my heart can't fully like relax all the way to fill up. So, and I had high blood pressure and all of those things. And recently we did they went in and did another heart catheterization to measure the actual pressures, which is where they put like a sensor in your actual heart. And I don't have high blood pressure anymore. I literally reversed my high blood pressure. I don't have to take meds for it anymore. Like, I was so excited. The room when they were doing this, they were like, pull up the old numbers. We got to compare them. They were so excited. I was so excited. Like, I know it maybe sounds outrageous to say, but I think weed is like healing my heart. I know it sounds crazy.
I want you to say it. There's nothing wrong with saying what you believe.
But like, I really do. I think it's given me the courage to cut off some people in my life that were like really not good for me.
Yes.
And I just kind of get to be happy and live in my little apartment and make my little weed stuff and like live my life and let people that love me, and people that don't can go away because I just don't care anymore.
Yes.
So it's I think the heart thing is the biggest one. Like, I can't believe I don't have high blood pressure anymore.
Have you told the doctors that you're using cannabis? How did you tell them?
My newest cardiologist, I was very honest, and she was like, and I was like, I'm not smoking it. I said, I know that that's not a great thing for me personally. Yeah. I said, I infuse oil and I use oil. And she goes, oh, okay, great. Whatever works. Awesome. And I said, ma'am, I said, are you a doctor? And I think she's technically a nurse practitioner, which doesn't take away from anything. But for me and my personal experience, they have been more open and more willing to like work with me, because I go into every appointment and I'm like, I'm not giving up my weed. I don't care what you say. I will not be giving up my weed. When they asked me about the ADD testing, I said, they can test me all they want, but I will not be giving up my weed and I will not be going on medication, because in 2019, I got off of all my psych meds. I have been I've been on and off psych meds since I was about 14. Been diagnosed with bipolar, all these things. And it was never that. It was the autism. It's always been those meds never worked for me. They never worked for me for a reason. Because those weren't my problems. Those are some people's legitimate problems. And if those meds work for you, more power to you. Take them if they help you. Whatever helps you, do it. They didn't work for me. And so finding out what does work for me has been incredible. And this works for me. So I'm going to keep doing this.
It's so amazing to just see what a transformation that you've had. Health, personal. Like, I am so excited for you right now.
I've had the courage to look for my biological family because I am adopted. So that has been incredible. I think I found my bio dad. He's taking a test. I found my cousin and she lives in Florida. We've talked once and we text. She's incredible. Her kids are all like on the like autistic and like on the spectrum. And like, so she's like super incredible, accepting. Like, my mom never really was. So I kind of am getting that through her now. Aww. And like, she's kind of healing my inner child.
Yes.
I don't think I would have had the courage without weed. I think I would have been stuck. Yeah. I think my autism and my childhood trauma created a world in which I felt like I couldn't do anything because I was such a bad person that every choice I made was wrong and that no one was ever going to be happy with me and that all I could do is disappoint everyone. That was the world I lived in. So and it's horrible. That's awful.
Awful.
I think weed has just been like, hey girl, like that ain't you. Like,
oh my gosh, what a gift. I am like almost speechless. You have had such an incredible story. And I'm so glad that you're here sharing this in the way that you are, because so many people think that cannabis is just for one thing. Like, it can help with pain or it can help with anxiety, but it helps with so many things. And you are just showing that with relationships and creativity and all these different health aspects. It just goes to show cannabis really, it's a miracle plant. It's amazing.
It is. And listen, I still have absolutely knockdown, drag out awful days with my body, with the emotions that I deal with. I have meltdowns. I'm autistic. I have them, but I can tell you unequivocally that the days that I have that are better and worth living far more. And I don't really remember the bad days. I used to only have bad days. And now it's kind of like, oh, I maybe had a bad day last week, but I don't really remember my bad day that I had. So it's been a very incredible change for me. And I really enjoy it. And your website really, like, I can't tell you. And that's why I was so excited. And I responded immediately to the email that got sent out. I don't know if I felt kind of silly afterwards. I was like, I was probably the first person that responded. But like, your calculator was the one that I used first, like when I was buying like weed at the dispensary, to like my first when I was making 7-gram batches of oil. Yeah. Now I do about 23 per batch. So I was like, you were the first one and I was like, I'm so excited to talk to her. Your website has all of these incredible resources. And then I finally, last year or the year before, did the membership so I could do behind the paywall to do the forums.
Yes.
And everybody has just been so wonderful. And like, I've gotten to talk to people and post some of the things I've made, and they're all so encouraging. And they're just like, hey, look at this cool thing you created. And like, that's incredible. So anyway, thank you for this thing that you have created for us that we get to learn from. Like, hours I have spent researching how to do things on your website. I think weed's my passion interest.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And that fact that I just feel like that plant brought us together and has given so many people inside the membership the opportunity to connect. It makes me feel like, oh my gosh, like we're really bringing people together. We're really making a difference. And it makes me feel so excited that, you know, a random internet post brought us together to have this conversation, which hopefully will go out and so many more people will hear it and it will impact them on a bigger scale as well. And thank you so much for saying that. Just makes me feel so warm inside.
Good. I'm so glad. I really hope people at some point understand like this plant and what it can do and really like start having respect for it. Because I just think it has the capacity to, like, when you really use it correctly. And I don't mean that in like, because I sometimes get lit just to get lit. Same. But I mean, like when you're using it long term, like I am, there is a level of responsibility you have to take with that. Doesn't mean you can't have fun sometimes, but like, absolutely. I don't think people understand like how it can really change your life. Honestly, like I move now. I move my body. And that to me is the most, like, I could take my garbage out and not come back and be like exhausted. Yeah. I don't know if people understand little things like that. To just be able to live your life and not be in excruciating pain and not be tied to narcotic prescriptions. Like to just be able to throw some oil in a cup of hot cocoa and feel better in an hour. Like, the other thing I did want to talk about and make sure I mentioned before anything slips my mind is that since I have such problems eating, I do want to talk about this. I did a lot of, one of the doctors that I had seen somewhere along the lines about, like, I had made the complaint. I was like, I'm eating so little that my weed isn't even effective anymore. Yeah. Like, there's nothing in me for it to bond to. And she's like, well, yeah, THC bonds to your proteins when it's absorbing and all these things. And so that really ticked me in my mind. And I was like, well, is that why? Is that why it's not effective anymore? Because I'm so depleted. There's no proteins in my system. And then I was like, well, what if I bulk up my protein? How can I get a shit ton of remember my language, shit ton of protein in me with my weed? And then maybe, so I'm telling you, I found the collagen that is protein, and you could put it in hot or cold liquids, because a lot of like the flavored ones can only, and they don't dissolve properly. So I save those for like my smoothies that I actually make. Yeah. But there's like a collagen one that is protein that melts in the hot liquids. So I literally dissolve my oil in my hot water, and then I do the protein over it. And the protein literally eats up the oil. Oh, like you can literally watch. It's like a science experiment. Every time I do it, I get so excited. I'm like, look at it. I filmed it for my friend and sent it to the other day. I was like, Fred, look, it's eating the oil. And it's so cool because it literally, you can watch it. So you know that that's actually how it happens scientifically in your body. It bonds to the protein. And so I make it in my hot cocoa and I drink it because eating is so difficult for me. Yeah. But when I tell you that it has significantly improved the length and the depth of my high, I think my high lasts for about 12 hours now.
That's amazing.
Like, I'm not kidding it. Like, and I don't think I feel the peak of it until about 5 or 6 hours in.
Perfect.
which is normally it's about two or three, for me anyway. And so it's been incredible. So I think I'm going to start asking friends to try it, like who maybe don't have such a problem with eating, and see if they experience a difference. But for me, it's been life changing because it's extended how long my dose lasts in essence. So I don't have to use as much for it to be effective. So I've been able to cut down to unless I'm having a really bad day, one solid dose a day. Which for someone with autism who needs to plan and really has to have structure in their life and their day, it's been incredible for me to know when it's coming, to know when I get to have it, to know what, and for me, I know a lot of people can't live like that. I have to live like that. It's how I operate best. So being able to find a way to do that and know that it's going to last and carry me into the evening and carry me into bedtime, it's incredible.
So nice. That peace of mind. Oh,
yes. So I encourage anybody that maybe is lacking, has starting to feel like they're waning or it's not working as effectively, to try protein, the protein powder, or to bulk up a protein before they take their edible and see if it makes any kind of difference. Because for me, it has made an incredible difference.
Thank you so much for sharing that, because I hope, someone listening is going to give this a try, and hopefully it makes a difference. And then when you say it can save money and more consistent dosing, it really can be one little tip can make such a huge difference. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, I hope it helps somebody, because I struggle with food so much. Yes.
And then getting that protein in too for your nutrition, the nutrition side of it too, has got to be perfect as well.
Well, the eating has become such a problem that I remember one of the doctors was like, no matter what, eat things with protein. I don't care what you're eating as long as they're high in protein, because that's what your brain needs. So I'm like, oh, cool. So I'm giving my brain what it needs and bulking my weed. Cool. I'm good with both of those things.
Done.
So yeah. So I just want people to know that has worked for me. So if they're struggling with food, and sometimes even getting my oil in mashed potatoes is hard. When I really don't want to eat, or can't eat, it's hard to do that. So the liquid, and so finding the protein that was in the liquid was a bit of a kerfuffle. So
but now it's perfect and you enjoy it. Then you get to look forward to it. It's a win-win.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, I think that's it for me, man.
That is so incredible. I am so amazed and excited. And I'm so glad that you were so brave and open to share all of this with us. Now, if I can, you are the first guest who has been open about having autism. And so if I could ask you, if you have any advice for somebody listening who maybe themselves or a loved one has autism and they've never even considered using cannabis as a tool, a wellness tool, what advice do you have for them in kind of incorporating that into their lifestyle if they want to?
I mean, I think with anything, start very, very small, right? Because I think there are people, a limited amount of people that I have found in my talks that have not great reactions to weed, to be very fair and very honest. Yeah. So I would never want to say balls to the wallet, and then someone with autism who has sensory issues, my God, then have a bad reaction. It could really cause harm. I would never want that. So start small. I think also, if you're someone who has a busy brain, this might be good for you. And especially edibles as opposed to smoking. I think smoking and edibles give you a different feeling.
Totally.
And I think people don't always know that if they don't have experience with weed. Edibles is not as intense. It's not as mind numbing. I think the head smoking always made me a little less able to communicate, but edibles takes care of my body stuff and soothes my body. But I feel like my brain still functions at full capacity. I like slower, but I'm not
in a good way.
I'm not inebriated. It doesn't feel but when I smoke, because there's that few minutes after you take that hit that you're like, woozy doozy. I just feel like start small with whatever you do. And just be aware of your sensory issues. I think for people with autism, sounds and lights. So for me, my house, I literally don't have lamps. I just have sensory, mood lighting everywhere. But I think it's about trusting your body. I think as an autistic person, a lot of times don't trust myself because I think the world and my mother and everything has told me that I have to be one way.
Yeah.
And I think it's just about listening to yourself and trying a little bit. And if it feels good and you like it, try a little bit more until you're at a dose that feels good and comfortable. And don't not try it because someone else didn't like it or your mom thinks it's bad or whatever. Try it anyway. Talk to your mental health provider, talk to your doctors. Like, I know people poo-poo it, but people don't poo-poo it as much as they used to. I promise they don't. And I promise if you tell your mental health provider or your doctor, like, I'm going to try this, whether or not you want me to, I'm going to, but I want you to be aware. There comes a point where someone will be like, okay, let me just provide you with the facts. Yeah. But like, if you're really worried about it and medications that you're on, or talk to them and say that you're going to do it. It's worth trying. It could really help you. It's worth trying for everybody. Yes. And I honestly think the world would be a lot happier of a place if everybody took a little dose of THC every now and then.
Absolutely.
Just filled the F out.
The world needs more THC. Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing that. I think it's a really good, you have to talk, you have to be open and honest, especially if you want to get the best from your provider. I did want to ask, how was your therapist when you told her about cannabis, him or her? Were they happy or intrigued, or how did that go?
Oh, Jeannie's great. My therapist, shout out to Jeannie, keeping me sane for 4 years. Jeannie just kind of lets me do whatever. I think Jeannie knew that I was struggling physically. And when I said this helps and it was legal here, and then I got a med card like the next year. So And of course, when you have the issues I have, they're like, oh, yes, please take a med card. You deserve it, my dear. And so, she has no problems with what I do. Awesome. I'm someone that I live in a town, luckily, that like Ubering is not a big deal. So I never have to drive anywhere high. I know people do, but for me, my own personal thing is any amount of weed, I'm not getting behind a wheel. That's just my thing. Yeah. So I'm lucky that I can like Uber right up to my therapy. I can go stoned as I want and like Uber right home. It's literally less than a mile up the road. And she's great about it. No one that I have come across medically in my team has been like, no one in my, I'll rephrase this. No one in my rotation of regular providers. There have been people I've seen in the ER that have poo-pooed me from weed and been like, oh, your stomach issues are because of the weed. Oh yeah. No, I didn't start using the weed until after the stomach issues. Yeah. I couldn't afford it because the stomach issues came after I met my partner. And if I hadn't met him, I wouldn't have been able to buy the weed. Like because I couldn't have afforded it before then. So it's just funny to me. So there have been those people that are like, it's the weed, stop using the weed. And I'm like, no, it's not going to happen. Sorry. That's what's saving all of you is the weed. Not going to happen. Yes. So, but I think if you're like your regular providers that know you, I think if you're someone that has a regular team or sees people, and you're just honest, I think it's the best route to go. And my therapist knows that, I'm at the point where I need to do what I have to do to survive. Yeah. And this really helps me. And it doesn't like leave me in bed all day. And I'm not like, some days it does. I stay in bed and build Legos all day, but then other days I'm really productive. So
and I would always think like healthcare providers, mental health professionals, they should really only care about you feeling better at the end of the day, regardless of how you get there. So hopefully, everybody's just super supportive and continues to support you because obviously this is what's helping you so much.
Yeah. And that's why I was really excited. Like my cardiologist, when I told her that I use weed, and then she was like, well, your labs look great. Let's get in and do a thing and see if your heart's good. And I'm like, yeah, great. And, awesome. She's just been super encouraging. And she had, like a year and a half ago, I had looked into weight loss surgery. That fell through because they were too nervous about my heart, to be honest with you, to do it. And she brought it up again. And I said, actually, I think I don't want to. I think I just want to keep going the way I'm going. And she goes, cool, absolutely. I'm fine with that. You're doing marvelously. And like, I don't know that people understand, but for someone who is autistic, who grew up in a home with parents who never believed me, who always were like, who needed the proof right in front of them, like to have data, unequivocal data that says what I am doing in my life is working. Like I'm repairing my heart, my blood pressure is not a problem. Like for me, that was like, you're doing it right, kiddo. Like keep going. So I don't know how else to explain it. So like, I'm really excited, and weed is great. And I encourage everyone to try it. Even if it's only on Fridays, to take a break from everything.
Yes. You are amazing. Thank you so much for sharing this incredible journey with us. Now, I want to be respectful of your time, but I also want to ask you the same 4 questions I ask all of our guests. Are you ready for them?
Good. Yes. And I already have my answers written down and in front of me.
Perfect. So number 1, what are you most proud of in your life to date?
Simply still being alive. Because there were many times I tried to get off this ride. And I didn't do it. And I'm glad I didn't, because I think I'm finally understanding myself and the world. So I'm glad I'm still here.
I am too. Thank you so much for being here. I feel like now we're brought into this moment. It's really special. And I'm really, really happy that Cannabis brought us here and has brought you so much joy and happiness. I really, truly am so happy for you.
Thanks.
Now that brings us, I guess, we kind of just answered that. And this is everyone's least favorite question. What does your life look like without cannabis?
I mean, it would definitely be more pain. I would probably be nauseous and vomiting pretty consistently. I would stay at home more. I wouldn't have the social outlet that I have, because I talk to a lot of people about weed. It's how I interact. It's how I feel the most comfortable communicating with people. Like, it brings, so there would just be a lot less in my life, and I wouldn't be comfortable. I wouldn't be comfortable ever. I would be miserable all the time. Imagine your worst day of pain, like where everything hurts and there's no relief. That's my everyday without weed. So that'd be awful. That'd be pretty shitty.
It'd be the worst. Thank God that's not a reality for you.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
And I'm telling my boyfriend we can never break up.
Right? I know I need you. But it also makes me just so happy that you share this so people can hear this. People need to hear this and what cannabis is doing for people, because it's changing lives in really positive, really amazing ways.
I think so.
Next question. If you could go back 10, 20, 30 years ago, however long, give yourself a piece of advice, what would it be?
So see, here's the thing. I wrote one for 30, 20, and 10 years ago.
Perfect. Yay. Let's do them all.
Let's see. So 30 years ago, I think I would have told myself, it's okay to ask questions, because I was always poo-pooed with my questions. 20 years ago, I would have said, it's okay that they don't understand you, because one day you will. And 10 years ago, I think I would have told myself, it's about to get real fucking rough, but you're going to make it. Cause you're going to find people and yourself, and you're going to make it. It's going to get real fucking rough for a while.
Yes. But the other side, here you are today, which is amazing. It's so
still
amazing.
Still breathing
and thriving and living a really amazing life. It's really incredible to hear your story. It's amazing.
Thanks.
Last question. If you could be remembered for one thing in the cannabis space, what would it be?
I think it's hard to say cannabis space, because I think for me, it's in general, but I think I want to be remembered for someone that saw people as themselves, and a validator, because that's my biggest thing in life. Yeah. So whether that's through cannabis and people's journey with cannabis and how it helps them, or, what relief it brings them. I think that validation is really important. Or if they're not getting heard by their doctors and they have something wrong. I think so many times people are no, there's really something going on with me. And their doctors are you're fine. I think that kind of validation, because there's so many people in the cannabis world that are trying to figure out what's going on with their bodies. So for me, I just want to be someone that is remembered as seeing people as how they are, how they want to be seen, and loving them regardless, and being supportive. Because I think there's just not enough of that. I think we don't love people as they are. We love them as we hope they are. And that's just not helpful for anyone. So I think validation is super important. I don't think anybody gets enough of that in this life. And I know that's maybe not correlated with cannabis as much as you want it to be.
No, it totally is, though. It all goes together. Cannabis and all aspects of life are affected. And I think it's a perfect answer.
Okay, well, that's the one I got.
Perfect. Oh my gosh. I can't thank you enough, Mary, for coming here, for sharing your story, and just for being so willing to be vulnerable and honest, and showing people that cannabis can absolutely make a huge difference in their quality of life.
It can change their life. It can absolutely change their life. And thank you for spearheading this, for creating a website, for being brave enough to put yourself out there. I understand to some degree, obviously not the degree you do, what can come with being this open about something that so many people have opinions on. And I'm sorry that you face backlash for that, but I really appreciate what you've done. It has absolutely, utterly changed my life forever. And I'm so appreciative. And I thank you from one girl who is learning how to survive happily to the woman who has helped her do that. I am incredibly appreciative.
Oh my gosh.
So thank you.
Thank you so much. It just makes everything that I do feel so worth it to reach one person, to make a difference. And now we're here in real life talking, and it's such a beautiful thing. Thank you so much for being here, for showing up, and for doing this. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me so much. It's been incredible.
Congratulations. You've finished another episode of the Well with Cannabis podcast and are one step closer to discovering how you too can live well with cannabis. Thank you for listening in today. We hope this episode has been a helpful and informative one. Please visit emilykylenutrition.com for more information on today's show notes, guest information, recipes, and other resources. If you want more support and encouragement on your cannabis journey, please consider joining the private Well with Cannabis community. In this group, you can connect with like-minded individuals focused on improving their health and wellness through cannabis. Join the group today to continue your journey of wellness together at emilykylenutrition.com.